This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. My name is Anthony O'Neill, host of the popular YouTube and podcast show, The Table with Anthony O'Neill, and co-hosting with me today is #1 national best-selling author of Business Boutique, has some amazing things going on, host of the Christy Wright Show, and killing the game, especially around ladies and starting a business. Like, Christy, what's up?
Hey, this is going to be fun. You and I get feisty. I'm pretty excited about this
Oh,
today.
this is going to be so good. This is like, we haven't done this year, have we?
No.
Listen,
Y'all get ready. Fasten
listen.
your seatbelts.
Two people who love each other who also love to talk. So
We have two speeds, asleep or 100 miles an hour. There's no in between.
there is no in between with us. You know, we're going to talk real fast. We're going to get straight to the question, and we're going to be very honest. You know, and so if you have a question about your life, about your money, if you want to start a business, this is a Women Appreciation Month or Women Acknowledgement Month or something like that. And so we have a woman who really loves helping ladies accomplish their goals, their dreams, starting businesses. And so I want you to give us a call. Christy Wright is I say she's the queen. Really, she's the king, but she's a woman, so she's the queen in this space. And so give us a call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You can find us both on social media if you want to send us a question at Anthony O'Neill for myself and at Christy. Is it right? Yeah.
Christy B. Wright.
Yeah, I thought so. Christy B. Wright. Send us your questions, and we would love to have a conversation with you. Let's get straight to the phone.
Let's do it.
I love it. So let's go out to my home state, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina. Good afternoon, Roy. How can Christy and I help, man?
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Good.
Hey, so I had a quick question. I'm currently 18 years old. I just moved out of my parents' house on Monday.
Okay.
I'm in school part-time at a community college, and I was just offered an internship with Amazon. It's going to be 15 months. It'll be paid, and I'm cash flowing college. I'm paying for everything, and I was just wondering where I should get started with the baby steps.
Oh, man. Roy, this is good. Now, what community college are you going to there in Raleigh?
It's Wake Technical Community College.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know all about Wake Tech, man. I was going to go to Fayetteville Tech in Fayetteville, North Carolina, about an hour and a half away from there, so I know exactly where you're going. How much is Amazon paying you, man, for these next 18 months?
It's going to be $20 an hour, 40 hours a week.
Boy, you making some money, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, any debt do you have right now? Do you have any credit cards?
No, sir. I'm completely debt free.
Okay.
It's a robotic internship. They just
Ooh.
built a warehouse here, and I'm studying mechatronics. So
Cool.
I was like, program.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it. I love it. Well, you know, Chrissy, I think the very first thing Roy should do is really just skip over baby step 2. And really just start saving your 3 to 6 months, Roy. You're a young man. You just moved out on your own. And so what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and get on an every dollar budget. Okay, Roy? What you're going to do is you're going to list all of your income, which is going to be your Amazon check. If you're driving for Uber Eats, if you're doing anything extra, I want you to list all your income. Then I want you to list all your expenses. So this is going to be, you know, your rent. This is going to be, you know, if you have an iPhone or Android phone, any apps you're paying for. You're a young man, so I'm pretty sure you're single. So if you out dating, you need to have a line item for dating, okay? So you got to get creative, list all your expenses. I don't know why y'all young people out here laughing at me. I know that's real. I see y'all laughing at me. But, you know, you got to put everything on there so you can have control over your money. That's the key thing that I really want you to understand, Rory. You're going to start with baby step number 3. And baby step number 3 is going to be 3 to 6 months of your living expenses, okay? And you're going to do that by getting on an every dollar budget. And that's the first place where I would say start. But the key thing is, man, once you get at 3 to 6 months, Roy, if you can do that by the end of this year and start investing next year, you'll be 19. If you can start investing 15% of your income, Roy, but before you turn 50, you're going to be a multimillionaire just by doing the bare basics. I love it. I mean,
Here's the cool thing, Rory. The fact that you're asking this question at 18, you going to be okay. Like most 18-year-olds are not asking this question, not calling the Ramsey Show, and not cash flowing their college. You are doing awesome. You're asking the right questions. You're already set up for success. The one caution I would give you, if you take this internship, which sounds like an awesome opportunity, you're about to have some money.
Yes.
And when you got some money, you know what it does? It wants to burn a hole in your pocket because you're like, oh, I'm living good. I got all this money. It feels like so much. And just like Anthony's telling you, don't lose focus of your goals and your plan just because you got a little cash in your pocket. It'll be very tempting to overspend that. So just beware of that. Stick to your plan, and you're going to be just fine. That's awesome.
Man,
I
listen
love hearing
here.
those calls.
What?
That's so cool.
Yeah, man.
I was not asking that question at 18.
18. You know what I was
That's
doing
why
at
I
18?
made some mistakes. I made some mistakes.
Listen here, man.
I was like, do I get another T-shirt for that credit card? Where do I sign?
Come on,
Sign
man.
me right on up. Yeah, I had to pay for my mistakes in my 20s.
Serious. I was thinking about T-shirts, free pizza, the ladies.
It's free money, y'all. No,
No,
it's not.
it's
No,
not.
it's not.
No, it's really not, man. So Roy, man, take my hats off to you. Thank you so much for calling in. You are a true example of what most 18-year-olds, what most young people need to be doing is thinking about their future. And so thank you for asking that question. And make sure to check out with me over on my show, man. I'm really gearing my show towards that younger audience. So come over there to the table with your boy Anthony O'Neill, YouTube podcast, and I'm going to show you how to keep the bag and really build some more wealth, man. I love it. Let's keep the conversation going. 888-825-5225. Ramsey personalities, Anthony O'Neill and Christy Ryder in the building today. And we're looking forward to having a good show with you. We're going to go out to Richmond, Virginia, and have a conversation with Matthew. Good afternoon, Matthew. Real quickly, what's your question?
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, how can we help?
So the question is, my wife and I have saved up a bit of money over the last few years. We now have enough for our first house. The problem is we don't know if we should actually buy our first house, buy an investment property, or hold off until we figure out where we go next with our family.
Okay,
Just
cool.
moved out of New York City. The plan is to go to the West Coast, closer to family, but with all the markets and everything going on, we don't know what the next move is, and maybe you can help us out a little bit.
Yeah, so do you plan on moving within the next 3 years?
Within the next 3 months.
Oh, yeah, so then we're not buying nothing. Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't want you to buy anything until you know you're going to be in this city for at least 3 to 5 years. Bare minimum is 3. The ideal situation is 5. But if you're moving within the next 3 months, no, don't buy anything because you don't want to be a long distance landlord because you won't be able to watch it and really take care of it. And then for me personally, I'm going to buy a house actually and live in a house before I go out and get some rental property. So put your family into a good home, then start talking about how to generate some more income.
That's good. I
You
like
agree
it.
with that
That's
one?
good. It's a good one.
Yo, it's Christy Wright, Anthony O'Neill right here on The Ramsey Show, and we'll be right back.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Christy Wright, author of Business Boutique, co-hosting with fellow Ramsey personality Anthony O'Neill. And Anthony, I'm so excited because we get to have a conversation with someone that I absolutely love. Jamie Kern-Lima is the founder of IT Cosmetics, who recently sold to L'Oreal for $1 billion. So just a small accomplishment in her life. And she has a new book called Believe It, How to Go from Underestimated to Unstoppable. Jamie, how are you?
Christy, I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me here.
How fun is this that I get to talk to you on the Ramsey Show with Anthony? We were just talking about you off air and how amazing you are. Jamie, I know so much of your story. I had the honor of having you speak at Business Boutique last year. I've had you on the Christy Wright Show. But for anyone listening that isn't familiar with you, would you just tell us a little bit about your story and your new book, Believe It?
Yeah, I'm probably most well known for going from Denny's waitress to creating a dream in my living room and going after it and building that to IT Cosmetics, which is now one of the largest luxury makeup companies in the country, and selling it to L'Oreal. But the reason I wrote Believe It, Christy, is, every single day I hear from so many people saying, oh, congrats on, your fairy tale, but I'm struggling, or I'm getting rejected, or my dream's not getting off the ground. And I realize if we don't ever share the real stories behind the stories, then everyone feels alone in their own setbacks and gets tempted to give up and everything else. So Believe It is really a book about overcoming self-doubt, what to do when you're not getting the kind of traction or success that you're hoping for, when people look you in the eye and tell you you're not enough. What do you do in those situations? Because my real story is, 3 years of having everyone say no with IT Cosmetics, and eventually turning those no's into yeses. But it was a really long road, really filled with a lot of self-doubt. And it's really how do you go from not believing in yourself to believing in yourself? And I think it's not just my story. It's a story of so many people out there right now, especially coming out of a hard season, right, of 14 months. And a lot of people have been dimming their own light. And this is a book that hopefully will help everyone ignite their light again and learn to believe in themselves and the possibility of their own dreams.
I love that. And I love your story, because one of the things that's really cool about this book, Anthony, is she has so many stories that you would never know if she didn't tell it. And Jamie, you shared some of these stories on stage at Business Boutique, but I think that people would easily look at someone like you and think, well, she's an overnight success. She just magically appeared on the mountaintop. She's so lucky, all these extra things. And you tell story after story after story in this book of how you were looked in the face and told no, how you had to overcome adversity, overcome setbacks, from stories at QVC to trade shows where you're literally stalking people down the aisles trying to get to the right person to tell your story. But you have this, even through all these stories and setbacks, you have a tenacity. You have a won't take no for an answer attitude. And I think that is something so special about you. Would you tell us, where does that come from, and how can people that don't have that naturally, how can they do that too? That may not come as naturally to be such a go-getter like that.
Yeah, I think, everyone listening to the three of us right now, I feel like all of us know inside if God's placed a dream on our heart, or maybe there's something in us that, we have that inkling where we know we need to create or launch the business, or maybe we're in the wrong job or the wrong relationship. We all kind of have those feelings. And, I did a lot of things wrong that I talk about in the book, but the biggest theme through the whole book, really, and the things that I did right, was when I had that feeling, that knowing, that internal knowing, I made the decision to trust it. And I think that so many people know if they're kind of made for more, or they're, have more to give or create, or they need to start painting again, or whatever it might be, but they still doubt themselves anyways. And this book is really about how do you break through that barrier of self-doubt and step into really the person you're born to be, and yeah, I was super, super hardworking and super ambitious, but I think really this is what I believe, and that's why I love that you guys share so many people's stories and so many people that have had success stories through everything that you've done with the Ramsey companies, because when we see other people's stories and we learn how they got through it, that's when we pull those stories in and we can lean on them ourselves. So yeah, my book is really about of course, working hard and not giving up and those kind of things. But really, it's about how do you learn how to believe in yourself and trust yourself? Like, hear your own knowing and make the decision to trust it. Because I think that's the ultimate success for all of us in our lives.
So, Jamie, let me ask you this question. This is Anthony, man. Good to meet you. I've seen you on Chrissy's stage, and I'm like, man, she's amazing. And I have a question. We have a lot of people who sometimes do not believe in themselves. They doubt their own selves. They're scared to experience some type of failure to go to the next level. What was one thing that you had to get over, and what could you say to inspire someone to say, you know what, hey, start believing in yourselves. Start pushing yourself forward. What would you say to that individual listening right now?
Yeah, the first thing I'll say is, like, I've now, Anthony, had the blessing of meeting so many inspiring people that I never could have imagined meeting. The first thing I've learned is they all still struggle with self-doubt. And so the first thing I'd say is you're not alone. Anyone listening right now feels like, oh, I just don't believe in myself. You're not alone. And I think that's really important to know. But also, one tool I would say is really starting to take inventory of who you let speak into your life about your own dreams. A lot of us, and I talk in my book, Believe It, about how to do this in terms of, like, if you imagine you have your own microphone, we all have our own microphone, and sometimes we hand our microphone over to somebody who, after we share our hopes or our dreams or our situation with, we end up like, self-doubt gets bigger, right? And sometimes it's our partner. Sometimes it's our family, our friends, people who love us. But when we share our dreams or our hopes with them, they kind of see them through the lens of their own fear or their own self-doubt. Wow. And so one thing I talk about in this journey of building belief is learning how to, like, take your microphone back from some people in your life. You can love them, but talk to them about, what's going on with the weather and how it's for dinner. But, really curating the people around you. Like, people listening to your radio show right now, that's a way for people to speak into people about things that they want to do, whether it's get out of debt or go after their dream, right? Curating who you hand your microphone to, who you take it back from, super important. A lot of times we, let everyone else's opinion get so loud that we and our own self-doubt builds that we don't even hear our own truth anymore. So that's one of many things to do on the journey that I had to learn how to do because, Anthony, I was told no so many times. I was told no one will buy makeup from someone who looks like you with your body and your weight, is what one investor said when they passed on investing. And wow. I was told, on and on and on. And I had to learn to turn down the volume on that before it took root in me and, like, turn up the volume on my own knowing and people that spoke positivity into my life.
Wow.
I love that because it's so practical and something anybody can do. Now, Jamie, before we go, I want to ask you one more question because we talked about this on stage at Business Boutique. You've shared this story on the Christy Wright Show, and I know Anthony's going to love it. So you are the epitome of success, and you have a story about how you were on the Forbes richest self-made women list, and you didn't want to be on it. And after 3 years of them putting you on it anyway, you learned something. Would you just real quick before we go, tell us something you learned about that experience? Because I think it is such a great lesson for men and women as we want to chase our version of success.
Yeah, I did not when I got that first phone call. Because listen, I've been a Denny's waitress. I have been so scrappy and worked so hard my whole life. And when we eventually sold our company to L'Oreal, they announced the purchase price. It was all over the Wall Street Journal, everywhere. So all of a sudden, I find myself on the Forbes list, and the name of the list is Forbes' Richest Self-Made Women. And I was mortified. I was embarrassed by it. I didn't want it to be shared. And this went on for 3 years until I had this huge epiphany where I was like, wait a minute.
Oh my gosh, Jamie, I am so grateful for your story. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for being a light. I love how you are just inspiring people to believe in themselves. This is The Ramsey Show.
888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. And the Ramsey personalities, Chrissy Wright and myself, Anthony O'Neill, are with you during this hour. And on the last segment, man, we had the opportunity, Chrissy, to interview one of your friends, Jamie, who was clearly a success story.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, wow, I kind of want to get her on my show. I'm like, I need to talk to her some more.
She's amazing. And what's so cool about her story, from starting this makeup company in her living room to now having a billion-dollar company that was sold to L'Oreal, she just has this humble spirit,
Yes.
and she really wants people to believe in themselves. One of the things she didn't mention when we talked is she's donating all the proceeds from the book. She donated her time to be at Business Boutique. Like, she
Wow.
is just such a generous, giving person. I could have talked to her all day, but I wanted you guys to know you can get her book, Believe It, at jamiekernlima.com or believeit.com. And I know she has an action plan and that kind of thing. I did want to tell you, Anthony, one story that we didn't get to wrap up because you'll find this fascinating.
Uh-huh.
So when Jamie was called to be interviewed to be on the Forbes richest women list, she didn't want to be on it. They were like, we're gonna publish how much you make, and we're gonna publish. And she was like, no. Like, I don't want to be on it. This makes me feel uncomfortable. They said, well, the records are public. We're gonna put you on it, like it or not. And they did. So they published about her. Year number 2, same thing. Published her. She's like, oh, I feel so weird. People know how much my business is worth, how much I'm worth, all this stuff. Year 2, they put her on there without her having a quote. Year 3, I think it was year 3 or 4, they call her again to get a quote. And so by year 3 or 4, she's like, all right, I think I'll give a quote. Like, I think I'll actually, like, maybe this could be a light for people to help them see if I can do it, they can do it too. And so she decided to. Well, she's talking to the interviewer, the journalist, and she said, I'm sorry, it just makes me really uncomfortable. And the journalist said, all the women do it. And she said, what? She said, all the women don't want to be on the list. She said, what's funny is all the women don't want to be on the list, and they feel very uncomfortable with how much they make and that anybody's going to know it. But every single man argues that they should be higher on the list. they're sending in records about why they should be jockeying for a higher position. I was like, man, women can learn something from this. You don't need to be ashamed of your success. Your success can be a light for other people to go behind you. So that's the story I was trying to get to, and we ran out of time. But she's amazing. You can get the book, Believe It, and the action plan at believeit.com. It's just incredible how inspirational her story is. What a light she is.
And I like how you just came for the brothers on that one, too. Chrissy,
Isn't that
can
crazy,
you just call
though?
that out?
No,
Ladies want to be humble. Guys, we want to be boastful. Guys, sit down.
No, women need to stand up. We both got something to learn. We both got something to learn from that. Don't be ashamed of what God's doing in your life.
Absolutely.
You don't need to apologize for that.
I
I
agree.
thought that was cool.
And that's a good one. And for the guys, and whatever God is doing for your life, don't exaggerate it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I see women, and this is true with Business Boutique, but anything, we have all, this is our posture. Anthony's like, oh, this little thing. Oh, just this little, I just got this little side business. Oh, it's nothing. And I'm like, you're diminishing not only your own sense of self-confidence, but you're downplaying the kindness and truth in someone's compliments. You're apologizing for God's gifts in your life. Like, this is not humility. This is just not true. And so I think there's the confidence and humility are not mutually exclusive. You can be confidently humble and, humbly confident, and you can hold your life with open hands. So anyway, I just love her example because she is gracious and humble and insanely successful. And yes, you can be both.
And honestly, all jokes aside, we need to hear messages like hers.
That's right.
To go from there to now a billionaire, a wealthy woman. We need that. We need that story.
And keep your character intact along the way. She's so impressive.
Absolutely. Well, let's get back to the phones.
Let's do it.
Christy. 888-825-5225. We're having a conversation about your life, your money. You want to start a business? The lady is in the building. If you are a woman and you need encouragement in whatever area of your life, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, hey, Christy Wright is in the building. And for all y'all young people, you want to get this bag or you want to make some money, for the older people, older generation, give us a call, 888-825-5225. And let's go out to New York and have a conversation with Matt. Matt, good afternoon. How can Christy and I help?
Good afternoon. Pleasure to talk to you guys. So I'm about to graduate from college. I have a job secured with a $70,000 salary.
Okay.
And I'm going to graduate with $30,000 of debt.
Okay.
So I already have $8,000 saved up. And I want to attack this debt, but the issue is I have my car that I currently use, and I'm gonna have to use for my job. It's kind of 20 years old, and I suspect it's about to die in the next year or so. So how do I balance between making sure I have enough cash on hand to get a new car or a new used car and attacking debt?
All right. So you have $8,000 in the savings, right?
Right.
Okay. Cool. And you're saying you think the car is going to die in a year, right?
Yeah, there's nothing like specifically wrong with it, but there's things just have been going wrong with it recently, and
Yeah, I get you.
I'm just concerned about its longevity.
Yeah, I get you. You ain't concerned about the car because I think you're concerned because you got the money. You want to go buy a newer car. If nothing is going wrong with the car right now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to take $7,000 of that, and I want you to put it towards your $30,000 of debt right now, your student loans. Then what I want you to do, if you start seeing issues with your car, okay, and it starts to have some issues. I mean, some serious issues too, Matt. I'm not talking about, you think you heard something, so now you need a car. Now, like, no, it's not working. It's broke. It's not drivable. Then I have no problem with you pausing paying off this $30,000. But how old are you right now, Matt?
I'm 21.
Yeah, Matt. So I want you to knock out this debt this year, okay? If you can really get gazelle focused, get intense, get a purpose, get driven, you can pay off the debt this year. You're making $70,000 on there. How do you do something on the side to generate another $20,000 this year? So if you can pay off your debt this year, then next year you can focus on saving up cash to go buy you a real nice quality used car. So what I'm going to say for you right now is don't worry about purchasing a new car right now. Because you said nothing's wrong with the car right now. Great. I would take it to the shop, maybe get it tuned up a little bit. You can take some of your $8,000 to do that. Get a good oil change, maybe get some good new tires on there. And then from there, put the rest onto your debt and just attack the debt. Then next year, let's go ahead and start the process of saving.
Yeah, my advice is so similar to a call we had a little bit earlier, Anthony, that I would say, you're about to get this job where you're making $75,000 a year. You need to pretend like you're not.
Yes.
You need to pretend like you're making $25,000 a year. And because if not, it's going to be, oh my gosh, this new big exciting amount of money. Oh, I can live a little more comfortably. I can slow down on my debt snowball or my student loans, or like Anthony said, need this car. And there is you do need a car at some point. And so that's why you need to stay serious, live on way less than you make, have that margin to take all that extra towards your student loan, towards the car whenever you need it. And then after that, you can get a little bit more comfortable after you get your savings up and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't want you to take your foot off the gas because you've got a lot more money than you're used to having, which will be easy to do. So keep that intensity even though you're making more money now.
Absolutely, Matt. And listen, man, you're doing things right, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're 21 years old, making about $75,000. The average income in America right now is right around $48,000 to $54,000, depending on what part you're in. So you're ahead of the average person in America. So now let's go ahead and get strategic. Let's go ahead and think about what can we do to really set yourself up to be successful down the road. And that is pay off all your debt, get a fully funded emergency fund. And so you do live in New York. So I know the prices up there are a little bit more expensive.
Sure.
So you're going to be a little creative. But here's the main thing. And Chris, this is what I tell everyone, especially young people. When they're so young and when they are ahead of the game a little bit, get a clear why. Get a clear vision. And if you get a clear why, a clear vision, then it's going to be very easy for you to do the things that you have to do to be successful. But if you don't have a clear why, a clear vision, then you'll have those kind of questions. Well, should I do this? Should I do that? But when you have a clear why, there's a clear answer that you need to take to get to your why.
Not only that, but that clear why is going to help you avoid the short-term temporary distractions of the bag or whatever. Apparently, I'm the old people because you're like, a bag or more money. I was like, what does a bag mean? I guess I'm in the old.
And look, all the young people are laughing.
I'm like, a bag. I'm learning things from AO today. Learning things. Anyway, that why will help you resist those distractions and stay focused.
Oh, Lord. I forgot. I am on the Ramsey Show. I'm not at the table with Anthony O'Neill. I need to. Lord Jesus. I'm sorry, y'all. The bag means money,
I need a bag.
wealth.
I need a bag.
I'm sorry. James, I'm sorry. Kelly, I'm sorry. This is the Ramsey Show. Have you ever wondered if an online will is right for you? Do you need a trust or a mirror will? What kind of power of attorneys do you actually need? You hear me say everyone needs a will, and I seriously mean this. My cousin just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and she had a very detailed will and life insurance in place, and it was so peaceful for the family. But I get a lot of questions asking if a simple online will is right for someone's specific situation. So with your question in mind, our team decided to build a quiz. That's right, a quiz. And this quiz gives you custom results based on if you are married or single, where you live, and even the size of your estate. It helps you understand exactly what you need for your specific situation. So I want you to take the quiz to find out what you need to protect your family and your wishes, and you know what? Your loved ones. Text the word quiz, QUIZ, to 33789. We'll also text you back a promo code for 20% off your will. So again, text the word quiz, QUIZ, to 33789. And I promise you, you will thank me, Christy, Dave, our team later, because I'm telling you, Christy, when we lost my cousin about 3 weeks ago, it was hard for our family during that time, and it still is hard for us. But to see that she had her will in place, and to see that she had her life insurance in place, and to see that she had the correct powers of attorney in place as well, which we couldn't use the powers of attorney then, but she had the right people on the account to get to it. We were able to mourn with peace, not mourn with stress.
Yeah, I think probably the number one reason I would guess that people don't do it is because they just don't want to face it. They don't want to think about it. They never get around to it. It's not fun. I understand that. But gosh, the peace of mind once you do it, and we've made it so easy on people to be able to do this, the peace of mind you have knowing that that's all okay. Like I had surgery in November, and of course, leading up to surgery, I just want to make sure everything's in place, just in case anything went wrong, you know? And it's like, well, we got everything in place? And so it's just gives you the peace of mind and also gives your family the peace of mind. So it's just great advice.
Oh, man. All right. Text the word quiz, QUIZ, to 33789, and your family will be very grateful, because when you have that stuff in mind, what you're telling your family is, I love you. You know, that's what you're saying. I love you and thank you, and I'll see you soon. Let's go out to Indianapolis and talk to Luke. Luke, good afternoon. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, good afternoon to both of you. As always, thank you for the help you provide.
Yeah, what's going on?
So at my church, I lead a group, and we're actually going through FPU. And this past weekend, we're talking about baby step 3 to 6 weeks, and actually tomorrow, 3 to 6 months. And tomorrow, we will be debt-free. Tomorrow, we're paying off our van.
Congratulations!
Yeah, we're excited, right? We're not scream because that's tomorrow. It's not today, okay? Now, my big question, my wife and I, other people in the group had the same question, 3 versus 6 months. So we played the clip in the video, you know, based on a single income family, or how reliable, commission-based. So if I can give you my circumstances, I'd really appreciate you helping me out 3 versus 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm retired military, 20 years, so I have retirement pay. That's never going to go away. I have disability from the military. That's not going to go away. And I'm a school teacher. School teacher pay, of course, can go away. My wife, we homeschool. We have 7 daughters.
7?
So, yeah, and I'm watching them play out the window right now.
That's amazing.
It's a lot of estrogen. Yeah. And so while we are a single-family income, I am the sole person. At the same time, the military and the disability comes out to about $46,000 a year. And my pay for being a teacher is about $45,000. So it's kind of funny. I get paid more for doing nothing now than I get paid for teaching. But we have 7 kids. So even though some of that income is reliable, you know, more kids, you have more events could happen that you need to dig in.
More expensive.
That emergency. But the sooner that we can get past baby step 3, I mean, baby steps 4, 5, and 6, I got a lot of college to start saving up for these kids.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put a lot of cash in savings or money market. I don't need to.
Yeah. No,
so I'm looking for advice.
Yeah. So, Luke, what's your guaranteed annual income right now?
If I were to quit or get fired from teaching, my guaranteed income from the military and disability is $46,000.
But there's no indication that anything's wrong with the teaching, right? Like that's been stable up to this point. That's a hypothetical. I just want to clarify this.
Not only is it a hypothetical, I finished my grad degree in educational leadership. I'm I'm thinking about being a principal, which would of course come with a pay raise.
Yeah, so that's as far as we know, that's a steady, stable job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to combine everything, then
Yes.
We're looking at $93,000.
Yeah, $92,000. Yeah, so you're good with no debt. You're perfectly fine with just 3 months, man.
Yeah, I would just jump into, and the reason we give people a range, even when you're talking about finances that is mathematical and formula based, and there are steps and principles, there's always going to be a range in comfort level. There are going to be some people that they will not sleep at night unless they have 6 months, just because that's their comfort level, even if all the numbers add up fine. And there's other people that are like, I feel pretty good with 3 months. I want to go ahead and get that money going into college fund. So the range is really for you to customize that aspect of it to your comfort level. And so if you and your wife and have a conversation, you feel good about your steady income and you feel good at 3 months or 3 months worth of expenses, and you want to start to put that money towards colleges because that's a very valid reason to want to go ahead and do that, I think that's totally fine. I think there's just a little bit of room for customization within that range.
Absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with Christy. We want you to choose. Now, if you would have called in and said, hey, I'm on a commission-based job, I don't have any savings, I still have debt, which if you don't have debt, we're going to tell you to pay off all your debt. But if you didn't have something stable and situated, then, yeah, we may say, hey, you know what, go ahead and get 6 months because you're not as stable with your income. But with you, you're stable, Luke. You have some good income. You're out of debt. Yes, set aside 3 months and go ahead and jump over to baby steps 4 through 6 right now. So I would definitely do that. But thank you so much for doing the class. And I before you go, like, I'm curious, throughout your debt-free journey, what was the hardest part of your journey?
So I was actually going to say that for everyone that's listening and hasn't taken the plunge, starting at $1,000,
Wow.
there is a mental leap that you have to take. It's a mental game. And if you're not willing to take that, you're not all in, and you just go ish, well, just don't do it yet. Wait till next year when you're ready. So making that first leap and saying we're in it to win it, and not going ish.
The commitment.
The first step. That's right.
Yeah, that's good.
Man, I love
Good
it.
advice. Good advice for money or anything.
Yeah.
Just commit.
I really do.
You know what? I think it's Seth Godin has a great quote. He says, if you wait until you have success to commit, you'll have neither. You need to commit to this thing, whether it's the baby steps or your business or whatever. You need to commit, and then you'll have success. You will not have success if you halfway tiptoe-ish your way through. You'll never have either.
So let's stay right there, Christy. Let's turn on Christy's teaching hat. What if someone said, okay, I want to commit, I know I need to do this, but like, what are the first, let's say 2 things that they need to do to actually commit to the process, to the journey?
So, one of the things we talk a lot around here is action. I tell people all the time, it's not the thought that counts. I don't know who came up with that. No one cares what you thought about doing. No one's bragging about what your husband thought about getting you for your anniversary. No one's posting on Facebook about what your kids thought about earning on their report cards. It's what you do that counts. But what's interesting is if you take a tiny baby step, literally a baby step in anything, not just financial baby steps, but that's why we broke it down this way. If you take a tiny baby step, it builds your confidence and it fuels your momentum to take the second tiny baby step and the third tiny baby step and so on. You look up one day and you've built the business, you've lost the weight, you've gotten out of debt, you've done the thing. But it didn't happen overnight. It happened one tiny baby step at a time, but it all started with taking a step. It's that step that moves. It's the first domino.
Yes.
Then the second is easier. The third is easier. You start to get some adrenaline, some endorphins, some reward from your hard work, some payoff. You cut up the credit card. You lose the weight. Whatever that thing is, you get your first sale, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this.
Yes.
Research shows, Anthony, that the most motivating thing to people, male, female, any age, does not matter. The most motivating thing to human beings from a psychological perspective is not money. It's not rewards. It's not recognition. It's seeing progress. Seeing the scale to go down, seeing the bank account go up. You see progress. You want to do more of that. So make some progress.
I told you, she a teacher, y'all. Christy Wright, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, man, this has been a great hour. Thank you, Christy. Thank you, James. Thank you, Kelly. Hey, you guys, we'll be right back. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. My name is Anthony O'Neill, host of the popular YouTube and podcast show, The Table with Anthony O'Neill, and co-hosting with me is #1 national best-selling author and also host of the very popular The Christy Wright Show that you can see on YouTube and on podcasts. And so we're here to take your phone calls about anything. If you're a lady, want to start a business, give Christy Wright a call. If you're a lady, you want to figure out how to go after your dreams and your purpose, give Christy a call. You want to learn? I was about to say something. I was about to say it again, Christy.
I'm so nervous. If you want to get a bag.
No, Christy. if you want to make some money, if you want to learn how to get your money right, and for the hip hop culture, if you want to learn how to secure a bag, give us a call at 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225, and you can hit Christy or myself up on social media, Christy at Christy B. Wright, and Anthony at Anthony O'Neill. Let's go out to Phoenix, Christy, and talk to Barbara. Good afternoon, Barbara. How can Christy and I help?
Hi, I have an invention, and I'm trying to figure out the steps I need to take to make that happen and protect myself.
Oh, what's your invention, Barbara? Are we allowed to know, or is it a secret?
Well, I'm not going to say exactly. It's a cleaning product. I have a cleaning service.
Okay.
So it's something that I've looked at doing because I've used different things, to do this. And so I have something I think will work better than what anybody else has.
Cool. That's awesome. So when you say you have this, I'm guessing you already have a prototype or a sample that you created on your own, or you need to get that made?
Well, yes and yes. I have part of it, and I need to make it'll require a handle. So I have an idea in my head of how I want the handle to be because of how I want the product to work. But I don't know. Do I go to an engineer? Do I go to a lawyer first? What do I do? Because I don't want somebody to be able to steal my idea. I know I'm going to have a patent on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I would say this. When you are kind of just in those first early stages of exploring and research and development, you're kind of getting prototypes, you're asking questions, you're refining your idea. I genuinely would not worry about someone stealing it because you're so under the radar. You're not posting this all over the world. You're not broadcasting it. You're just discreetly going to some different vendors, seeing who, whether it's a company, a manufacturing company that makes a prototype, a mold, plastic molds. You got to look into some of the cost and what's the most efficient way to do it. I would encourage you to find the simplest, smallest way to start, because when you're looking at molds, for example, if it's a plastic based handle, whatever your design is, that can get really pricey in terms of upfront costs, and I don't want you to do that until you prove the concept and get some sales in. But what you can do is you can just start to dig around a little bit. I would say that look in your area in Phoenix. First, search locally, because there's something so invaluable to going in person to the manufacturing plant, to shaking hands with the people that are running it, to seeing what their options are, how they work behind the scenes, behind the curtain, versus dealing with an online vendor. You're going to have a lot more options online, but gosh, you just could also make some mistakes and lose some money in translation. Even if you did pick someone online, I would go travel to where they're located to see where and how they operate.
I want to look for a company that manufactures handles, basically.
Yeah, that's
okay.
That's what you're looking for. The other thing I would do some digging is, and this is a very common best practice in business. Don't feel like you're doing anything shady. You can ask other companies that are doing something similar, that are manufacturing their own similar products. Maybe it's not a cleaning handle, but it's a different type of handle, or maybe it's a different type of product in a different industry. And just say, hey, how'd you do this? Who'd you talk to? Do you know of anybody? Just ask around, and that is a perfectly normal thing to do in business. A lot of people will be willing to share resources, contacts, company names. Hey, I've got a guy over here. He may not be the guy, but he's got someone over here. Whatever the thing is, you're just going to do some scrappy digging, research. And I would say that even when you find an option, to manufacture your handle, you want to get 3 different samples from 3 different vendors.
Okay.
You want to get 3 different quotes, compare cost, compare commitment, and that type of thing before you make your decision. And then and only then, Barbara, once you have got it locked in, you're like, I want to go with this company. Here's how many we're going to manufacture. Here's how much it's going to cost. Here's what all the logistics of fulfillment is. Once you do that, then I would get serious. Before you maybe sign with them, then I would get serious about a patent. And you don't need a patent attorney. You can go to uspto.gov. That's United States Patent and Trademark Office.gov, and you can file for a patent yourself. It's a little bit of, maybe $2,000. You can do it yourself. You don't need to pay all this thousands of dollars in attorney's fees to do that for you. So you do that then. But first, let's figure out your idea and concept, and then you're ready to do the paperwork side of it. But that's awesome. I think that's really cool, and I think you should do it. I can't wait to hear how it goes. That's really cool.
Wow. Listen, that's why I said give us a call. She's the one. I like that, Kristen. Tell her how to do it. Tell her how to save some money, still pursue her dreams, but here's the first steps.
Yeah.
That's why you need to give us a call.
It can be intimidating when you have an idea because you're like, well, I've got this awesome idea. How do I bring it into action? Those first steps can be a little intimidating, but you can do it.
Absolutely. Max is in Philadelphia. Good afternoon, man. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, thank you so much for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead real quick. We got about 2 minutes, so get to your question for us.
So, I'm on baby step 2. I am trying to figure out ways to increase my shovel to fill this mess that I've made. And I got a 5K increase for a new position at work within the last couple of weeks. And I just found out that I got a little over $5,000 bonus for the year.
Okay.
I have a pretty unique ability to play piano and sing on the side.
Okay.
And I'm wondering whether it's acceptable to sort of put some money into that, whether it's, I've been thinking about getting this piano shell that sort of mimics a grand piano to throw that tip jar kind of right in people's faces for them to kind of request songs. Or, I'm kind of feeling guilty about even the idea of putting a pause on the baby steps. I also have to get into some sort of car to be able to get to those gigs, which I don't have right now.
How much debt do you have right now, Max?
So I have 13 in so it's an old car loan that isn't around anymore due to an accident. So I should be getting some settlement money at some point.
Okay.
I have no idea when though, but and then like $250,000 in student loans.
Yeah. I'll tell you real quick, Max. You don't need to put any money from your bonus into your side gig. If you were in a different type of business, like you're a fitness coach and you don't have equipment to do what you need to do, I'd say you don't need it for what you do. You're able to do what you do on the side without taking any money. Just get a bigger tip jar from like Walmart and just stick it in their face on top of the piano. The things that I'm hearing don't sound necessary. They sound nice, but not necessary.
Yes.
So put that money on your debt. Don't worry about. You don't need that to do what you do.
Yeah, man, I agree. I totally agree with Chrissy. There's no need to spend any extra money or anything. You need to put all the money towards your debt because you need financial freedom. You don't need anything extra for your business. Now, I do want you to consider keep that side gig so you can keep some money generating to go towards your debt. But don't spend any more money into that. All right? Get out of debt. Keep the bag. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
Monique is in San Antonio, Texas, with a great question for Christy. Monique, how can Christy and I help?
Hi, y'all. It's an honor to be on your show. I've been listening to Dave and everyone for years. I have a question for Christy. I have read Ken Coleman's Proximity Principle, and I just started your book, Christy Business Boutique.
Awesome.
And I'm just at the beginning, and I feel like God's been slapping in my face. I prayed about it. I've lived the corporate life forever, and I know there's so much more out there for me. I have a chronic illness. I do live with multiple sclerosis. I've had it for about 7 years or so, and I want to share with not just other people with multiple sclerosis, but anybody with a chronic illness, the importance of health and fitness, and a positive attitude, I think, goes a long way, too, because I'm open about it, but there's people that don't know. And when people find out I have it, they're like, I would have never guessed that, Monique. And how do you do it? Because I know somebody that has it, and they just kind of have such a bad attitude and don't want to do anything. So I want to start a blog. Well, I have my website already. I purchased that. I don't know. And I want to go into fitness training for people with disabilities. And I don't know if this is something that could potentially become a career, or even how to start. I've seen all these like on Facebook and everywhere, pay X amount of $100 and we'll teach you how to blog and earn money. And I just don't know if this is something solely, because I've seen in your book, you've said it, all you need is social media and you can start a whole new career. I guess I'm still kind of, how do I go about doing this? And is this a idea that maybe could go somewhere? It's kind of what I'm reaching out to you for, Christy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, let me ask you a really basic question. Do you like to write?
I do, and I love telling my story because I want to help people.
Sure.
Because I feel like there's so much that people don't know about the illness and what's available to them out there, from everything to assistance with drugs and do you need these certain medications or not.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much I've learned in my time, and the power of a positive attitude and how to help people. So that's where I'm at, and I do love to talk and write about it. So.
Okay, well, here, the reason I asked is because you definitely have a message, and you definitely have people you want to help with it. So that is clear.
Right.
Where I want to challenge you a little bit is blogging isn't your only way to do that. Here's what I hear, and you're just on the phone with me, Monique. I hear such expressiveness in your voice that I would be willing to bet you'd be good on camera. You would be good on a podcast. You would be good on a YouTube channel. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, but the reason I'm challenging you there is making money through blogging is very similar to making money through podcasting or YouTubing. So you really get to pick what is your medium to share your message. And maybe you do multiple ones. I do multiple ones, but you want to start with one. You want to start with one and get good at it to get your message out. And what's cool is when you start to help people through that medium, then you're going to learn what messages are resonating, what information people need, and you can always add branches on to how you do that. Now, here's the deal. Making money through blogging or YouTube or podcasting or anything like that is a slow process if you don't have a product or service to sell. You're selling advertising or sponsorships or affiliate marketing. You've got to have eyeballs, ears, clicks to be able to monetize it if you're talking about just monetizing the blog itself or the podcast itself. A better way to approach it is I'm going to look at this as a marketing channel. For Anthony and I, we don't make very much money for our company or ourselves through our podcast show. Where the money comes in is the back end when we talk about, oh, by the way, I have a devotional Living True 40 Days to Get Back to You, or I have a book, Business Boutique, or Anthony has a book, Debt Free Degree. When we talk about these additional resources that people buy, that's where the revenue stream is. But the podcast, the show, the blog, it's more of a marketing megaphone as an example. So you can approach it either way. You can do both. You can have affiliates and sponsorships, and we have that as well. But that's not going to be the bulk of your revenue unless you just have a massive following, which when you're starting, you don't. So what I want to challenge you to do as a starting point is think about which sounds the most fun to you. Being on camera through YouTube, being on a podcast, or writing. And you, like I said, you can always add them in later. But man, if people are saying to you, Monique, I never would have known that you struggle with this, then visually they see something in you that inspires them. And I don't think that comes through in a blog. I just want to challenge you there. You're going to be able to possibly amaze people, inspire people, help people more when they see your presentation on camera or hear the expressiveness in your voice on a podcast and they go, oh my gosh, she struggles with MS. I would have known, and make that much more of an impact. So I just want to challenge you there. There's no right or wrong. You do what's right for you. but then begin to think about what's the revenue stream in addition to, is it a course? Is it coaching? Is it, some other type of consulting? Is there some other back-end revenue stream that's going to make it more profitable for you faster than just waiting on eyeballs to come and monetizing those to advertisers? So I just want you to think about that, the revenue side, but also think of the medium. But I definitely think you should do it. When you start to dip your toe in, you'll start to learn more about what you like and what works, and you want to do more of that. Great question.
Wow, man,
this
that was
is
an
fun.
amazing question.
This is fun.
This is. I love it. I love it, man. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's go out to Cincinnati. Have a conversation here with Allison. Good afternoon, Allison. How can Christy and I help?
Hi, are you there?
I'm there.
Yes. What's up?
Yeah.
Okay. So my husband and I are trying to decide. We're on baby step 3B.
Okay.
And saving for a house, what our monthly payment should be, because we make about $8,000 a month.
Okay.
So that would be the 25% for $2,000. However, we have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old in full-time daycare, and that's a pretty steep cost. It's about $20 a month.
Okay.
So should we subtract that from the $8,000 to come up with the monthly mortgage payment?
I mean, I think for you at this present time now, you have no debt, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you have a fully funded emergency fund, correct?
Yes.
All right, I just want to make sure that we're super clear on that. So I think for me, the bare max, not the bare max, but the max you can go to is $2,000. That's going to be 25% of your take-home pay. And so if you want to go down lower than $2,000, by all means, do that if you feel as if you will be a little bit more, it will be a little bit more comfortable for you and your family. But I firmly believe that $2,000 is a great mortgage, right? But then at the same time, how can we maybe cut out on some other expenses so that way we can live in a comfortable house? But if you want to go down to $1,500 a month, totally great.
It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Anthony, where it's like there's a comfort level that you get to have the discernment to decide what are we comfortable with. I'll tell you, for Matt and I, as we have made more money over the last 10 years, we have not upgraded our home and lifestyle. We will at some point, but we haven't. And so we have more margin.
Yes.
And that margin is peace of mind.
Yeah.
When my son went in the hospital a few years ago, peace of mind. There's no, even with an emergency fund, peace of mind. And so I will say that, Allison, if you're even a little bit concerned about, you don't have to go up to the limit. That's a rule of thumb. Absolutely, you can buy a home that's a little bit less than that, still meets what you want in a home, but you don't have to max it out just because you quote unquote can, because it's the formula. Again, use your discernment and your comfort level, and if you know, like, hey, I'd feel better having a little bit more margin and wiggle room with 2 young kids, which are highly unpredictable, then by all means, feel free to do that. I think you need to do what's right for you.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. What does your husband think, Allison?
We go back and forth every day.
Yeah. I definitely agree with Chrissy. Just sit down with your husband and you all figure out what's comfortable for you. Just don't go above $2,000. But if you're saying, hey, let's just stick around $1,250 a month, hey, that is great. I mean, we want you to be comfortable. We don't want you living paycheck to paycheck. We want you to have freedom. We want you to have peace. But at the same time, I'm not just looking at my mortgage payment too, Chrissy. I'm looking at everything, though. You know, where can I cut out on some things? Where can I cut off on daycare a little bit? Where can I find maybe, I don't want to say a cheaper daycare, but like a daycare that may be still good, but even is within my budget.
Yeah, and the other thing that's so interesting too about margin, especially when you're in this baby step, and this is kind of what you're working towards, if you're able to be in a home you like and have that margin, then when things come up, you cash flow them easier. You're not having to save for 10 months for an expense. It comes quicker because, man, you've got so much margin to put at it. It makes a big difference.
It really does. It really does. Well, y'all, I'm excited because coming up next on the next segment, we got 2 young people on the debt-free stage. That's right. So y'all definitely want to come back after this. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, get the cats, get the dogs, because we about to have a debt-free screen. Christy, America, I'm excited because we have in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage 2 young people, James and Megan. See, I'm getting excited. Can't even say a name right. Man, I get excited, when I see 2 young people on the stage who are clearly debt-free. So give us the information. How much debt did you pay off?
We paid off $93,000 in about 25 months.
Wow.
$93,000 in 25 months? Boy,
Yes.
y'all was working. And then how much was your combined household income during that time? Where did you start? Where did you finish?
Well, for the first 6 months, we're at about $43,000.
What?
And we went up to,
I'm trying to do the math here.
Okay.
Then we went up to about $130,000. That's where
Look
we're
at
at now.
you.
130. Then Christy, that's how you secure the bag.
Exhibit
Secure
A.
the bag.
Exhibit A right here on the stage.
His bag went big. So what happened for you all to go from $43,000 to $130,000 in income?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got out of college and had student loan debt and all those things, and so he was finishing up the police academy, and I was working, and then it took a little while to find a job. So when he finally found a job, we were able to keep living like we were living on one income in order to make sure that we were paying off our debt.
Smart.
So, yeah. What do y'all 2 do?
I'm a police officer, and Megan's a teacher.
Amazing.
Man, 2 amazing careers.
That's right.
Thank you both for your
Serving our
service.
country. That's right.
Yes. All right, so I'm assuming the $93,000 is in student loans, majority of them?
Well, it was about $60,000 in student loans.
Okay.
I had the majority of that.
All right.
2 car notes and
Just a couple other miscellaneous, like $3,000.
Oh, so y'all
$3,000 in credit card debt.
So y'all were just very normal. That's it.
Yeah.
Just normal. Student loans, 2 nice cars, and some other small stuff. Okay, cool. So, what happened? What made you all want to attack this $93,000 in student loans?
Well, I didn't think we had a problem at all. We were just living day to day. And we got an invite to attend my high school football coach and his wife for dinner. We met them for dinner, and they were just happy. They were excited. They were like, hey, we got to tell you about this thing. We're paying off our debt, like we're getting out of it. And just to see their faces light up and for them to tell us, I was like, Megan, we have to do something. Yeah. But before that, right after we got married, someone actually gave us Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover book with $100. So we took the $100 and we kind of tossed the book aside. Like, we don't need that.
Everybody does. Every wedding gift ever.
So after Dan and Carolyn invited us over for dinner, we went back scrambling looking for the book, and we couldn't find it.
We don't know who gave it to us either. So.
Yeah, so shout out to whoever gave us that book for our wedding gift. But we read the book, and I just lit up. I read the book in a couple hours, actually. I just sat down and read the whole thing, and Megan was on board. And
Whoa. Wait. You read the whole book in a couple of hours, like in 1-2 hours?
It was like 6 hours. But no, not a couple, but like 6 hours.
Still reading a book in 6 hours. Well, it takes me 6 weeks.
Yeah, it usually does too. But that book I just couldn't put down for some reason.
You were determined.
I was determined. I was definitely determined.
Yeah.
That is cool. That is awesome. So I'm curious, when you decided to make this commitment, what was the first few weeks like when you realized okay, we've decided and now you got to make some sacrifices and actually take action on it? That for some people between idea to action is hard. Talk about that that stage right there.
Yeah, our budget was really jacked up the first time through.
Oh, everybody's is.
Yeah, we never sat down and budgeted anything. We didn't know where our money was going or what was happening, so it was just a mess.
Yeah, after we finally kind of configured what we wanted to budget for everything, it got easier, but it took some hard conversations, letting go of certain things, and just making sure that we were doing what we needed to do to get where we wanted to go.
So what would you 2 say is the key to getting out of debt? What's that one key to the millions of people listening to your message right now?
It definitely takes commitment with anything. I never went through a process before where, I was that committed.
For that long.
For that long, too. Right. 2 years seemed like a long time. It was a long journey, but looking back at it, it went by quick to us. But definitely commitment, and if I can add a 1B, it would be budgeting for sure.
Put a B in.
But yeah, budgeting was great.
Yeah, that's so good. I'm gonna put you on the spot. What's your why? Like, why did you all really, really want to become debt free? Think about 10 years down the road. Like, why does this matter to you two as a married couple, young married couple?
Well, I'll kind of talk about my why. I don't know if, I was going through the police academy. I wasn't making any income, and Megan was just taking care of the entire family, and we had a 2-month-old son at home.
Wow.
So he's definitely our why, my why of why we did things. I mean, I don't want him to go through the process we had with student loans and other debt. So because we took the sacrifice, the short sacrifice to pay off our debt, he would never have to experience that again.
Wow.
So just knowing that, I mean, that's amazing for me.
That's awesome.
Megan?
Yeah, I think mine was really motivated by Micah. We had to struggle through and make sure that our loans are paid off, but we don't want him to have to go through that, and just not have to worry about money in general.
Yeah. That's so good. Who were y'all's two biggest cheerleaders?
We actually had a couple. Her sister Alyssa and her husband Alex, they went through Financial Peace University with us. They actually are debt free as well.
That's good.
And Dan and Carolyn, the couple that introduced us to the Dave Ramsey plan. So shouts out to them.
Shout out to them. So how did it feel? I mean, how let me ask this question. If you don't want to answer it, I totally understand. But how old are you two?
I'm 26 and Megan will be 26 next week.
Wait.
You're about to get fired up. I know that face. You get excited.
You're 26 years old, paid off $93,000 in 2 years and 1 month. I just got to ask, how does it feel to be on the end of the millennial age, and you're debt free, you have a beautiful son? Like, how does it feel?
It feels amazing. It really does. I didn't know it was going to feel this great until it hit us. I mean, I thought the entire plan was a scam. I want to be honest with you. Then, we just started tackling our debt, and we're like, we can do this. We really can.
Wow.
It feels amazing.
Wow.
And it feels amazing to not have to work all the overtime I work during the journey now too. So just to take a break, and it feels amazing. It does.
Your hard work is paid off.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Listen, man, this is the Ramsey Show, so I gotta be careful what I say, because I'm just excited for you two. When I see young people like yourself, focused, determined, living with intentionality, saying, hey, we want to be debt free so our son can enjoy life, grow up without debt, and then pass that on to his kids and then to their kids. It started with you all.
That's right.
You two are the legacy beginners, man. I just salute you, man. So clearly, you two are on your way to becoming everyday millionaires. So we have a copy of our good friend Chris Hogan's book, Everyday Millionaires, for you. Man, this is amazing. Is Micah here?
He is.
Let's
Bring
get
him up.
Let's
Bring him
get
up for
Micah
this.
on the stage, you guys. Man, James and Megan paid off $93,000 in 25 months, making $43,000 and $130,000 in a year. Let's hear a debt-free scream. Count it down, you guys.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free. Wow. Chrissy, at 26, you're older than me, right, Christy?
Okay, we don't need to bring that up, Ayo. We don't need, okay, feels a little pointed. Anybody?
I'm just saying, Chrissy, but at 26, were you thinking like that?
No, I was realizing I had to turn something around. That was the beginning of my journey, not the end of it, for sure.
That for sure.
That's awesome.
And Christy is older than me. Hey, this is the Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. And sitting in today is Christy Wright, #1 national best-selling author, and Anthony O'Neill. I've written a book once or twice. But, man, we are here to take your phone calls and to really have a great time. We love laughing. We love just talking and helping and serving people. And so we're going to keep it going on the phone lines. Christy, let's have a conversation with Alex out in Tampa, Florida. Good afternoon, Alex. How can Christy and I help?
Hey, y'all. How's it going here?
Great.
Long-time listener, first-time caller over here.
All right. How can we help?
I had a question for y'all. We are a first-time home buyer, and the real estate market down here in Florida is hot, and just like it everywhere else in the U.S.
Okay.
And just wanted to get your guys' opinion on first-time home buyer here, and if we should still continue the rent, or if we should go ahead and pull the trigger and buy or build right now, or wait till the summer, or wait till no one can time the market. But I was just curious on what your all's thoughts were on that, since this is the highest the market's ever been with the lowest inventory.
Cool, great. Give me a little bit about yourself. How much are you out of debt?
Yep. We are completely out of debt. It's gonna be it's my fiance, Courtney, and I.
Okay.
We have about 180 saved up. We're completely out of debt.
Okay, 180. Is that 180K on top of your savings, or is that total $180,000?
That's a total of $180,000 saved between the two of us.
That's amazing.
That's real. I mean, you two are killing the game. All right. So
yeah.
So I like that. So do you two plan on staying in Florida once you two get married?
Yeah. So we're getting married here in a few months, and we'll be in the Tampa area looking for a home.
Cool, great. Cool. Well, here's my suggestion. You clearly have the money. Okay. I'm not going to spend $180,000 to put down on a home. I'm going to look at what will it take to have at least 3 to 6 months of your emergencies inside of there. If you two have a stable income, a stable job, then I would definitely go ahead and just keep it down to maybe just 3 months. But if you're like in freelance entrepreneurship type stuff, I will go ahead and set aside 6 months. And so you'll have at least $100,000 put into a home. So generally what we tend to say is wait 1 year after you get married so you and your wife together can go around looking and see what you all like, get used to living with each other. And I still like that for you two, even though you all are already in Tampa and you're going to stay in Tampa. Mm-hmm. But I do believe that you should go ahead and just maybe save up a little bit more and just at least give yourself 6 months in the same house, learning each other, learning what you like, learning, okay, we need this now since we understand how to live with each other. So I would suggest that.
When are y'all getting married, Alex?
Yeah, we're getting married in September.
Oh, congratulations. Well, it's interesting, too, because what's so cool about your position, financially especially, is you have options.
Yep.
So if something happened to come on the market that's just the most perfect house in the whole world and you prayed about it and you feel like this is the thing, then you're in a position to buy it if you wanted to. But I could not agree with Anthony more, because I will tell you, totally transparent, and this is not talking behind Matt's back, but Matt and I would both agree the first year of marriage was hard. Everyone talks about the newlywed phase, and it is fun, but you are bringing your own set of expectations to even just living in a house with someone of how they grew up and you grew up and who's doing what dishes and chores. And so what's so cool is if you add the extra stress of buying a home, decorating a home, owning a home, and all the maintenance that goes into that on top of that first year, it will add to your stress. Now, it's not that you can't do it, but I agree with Anthony. I think if you baby step that and you say, okay, first step, let's just get used to living together as newlyweds with less pressure and the landlord can take care of the maintenance. Second step, let's buy a home and take on that new level of challenge together. I think it's just going to spread it out and make it a little bit more enjoyable for you. It's not like you have to, but man, I think that's maybe the smarter option.
Yeah, great question, Alex, and congrats on
congratulations.
you and your wife doing that. Hey, stay on the line. Since you two are getting married, I'm going to have Kelly give you a free year subscription to Ramsey Plus. And so, because you all are going to be starting off in baby steps 4 through 6. And so I definitely would love to just sow into y'all's marriage, because I'm praying that it's going to be fruitful, and you all will be married for years and years and years and years and years until both of you all go home to see the Lord. So that's alone forever. Hey, Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer for custom window covering. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Rules and restrictions apply. Today's question comes from Dylan in New York. I've been a part-time freelance proofreader for a little over 2 years now. I'm ready to expand my business, but there are only so many hours in a day, Christy. I currently turn down about 2 projects a month because I don't have time to do them. I'm thinking about subcontracting out the projects I don't have time for, but I'm not sure how I would structure their pay, or if it's morally okay to accept work from a client and then give it to someone else to do, though I would review every job to make sure it's high quality. What do you think, Christy?
2 things, super simple. Number 1, raise your prices. Period. Raise your prices. If the demand is higher than the supply being the hours you have in a day, it is time to raise your prices. And then that's showing you what you're able to do at this time. It's a great time to raise your prices. Second thing is, when you talk about, is it morally okay to accept work from a client and then give it to someone else to do? That is what business is when you employ team members. So of course it's morally okay. The only thing that you might want to do, just for your own peace of mind and to be fully upfront with the client, is to let them know that your subcontractor, your team member, however you want to phrase it and structure that person's employment with you, you just want to be upfront that they're going to do it, and you let them know, like, hey, I'm going to pass this off to so and so. But I'm going to supervise it. I'm going to make sure the quality of work. When it comes to that, you need to think through the pay. So you're going to build in to the cost for the client, the amount that you're going to pay the subcontractor, the team member, to do it, and the amount of money that you're going to make off the top for running the business, because you're running a business now and you're employing people. So you can do either. You can raise your prices or subcontract it out and manage that like a business, or you can do both, and all of them are good ideas, and that's exactly what you should be doing when your business is expanding and the demand is growing. Great question.
Oh, man, that was such a real good question. It's so funny because when you was answering the question, Christy, I was like, absolutely, man. People do this every single day.
All the time.
Every single day.
Yep, that's right.
I called one company. Yeah, we're going to send out a contractor. But I called you. Well, they work for us.
That's right.
So there's nothing wrong with it. Just make sure that whoever's representing you is doing a great job at what they're doing. So this way,
because it's your brand on it, your name on it, your reputation.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys, are you feeling stuck with your money? Like you'll never get out of debt or save enough for the future? Listen, it doesn't have to be that way. You can make progress with your money and faster than you think. But the only way to make it happen is with a budget. Again, we just heard the debt-free couple say, you got to get on the B word, a budget. That's why you need Ramsey Plus membership. You'll get access to the premium version of our Every Dollar budgeting app. You'll be able to plan out every dollar you'll spend and save before the month begins. Connect your budget to your bank so you can never miss any transactions, and get custom budget reports that shows you where you can find more money to put towards your goals. When you budget and get intentional with your money, you will make progress. Let me say that one more time. When you budget, when you have a vision for your money and get intentional with your money, you will make progress, and progress very fast. And you can start budgeting for free today. To start your free trial of Ramsey Plus, go to DaveRamsey.com. That's DaveRamsey.com. I can't tell you how much I love budgeting. I didn't like it at first, Christy. I'm going to be real.
Really?
Oh, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I was able to see where I was spending the majority of my money, and I didn't like looking at myself.
See, I'm the control freak. I like the control. I'm like, ooh, I get to just move these numbers around and control it and see it, and it's like a game.
I love it. I'm glad that you loved it. I didn't like it, but now I do love it. Well, that's a wrap for this hour. Man, it's been fun. Christy, James, Kelly, America, thank you so much. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. My name is Anthony O'Neill, host of the popular YouTube and podcast show, The Table with Anthony O'Neill. And co-hosting with me today is #1 national best-selling author Christy Wright and host of The Christy Wright Show and author of the most recent book, Living True.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this.
Christy, this book is fire.
So this is so fun because did you know, I don't know if you knew this, Ayo.
Okay.
This is the very first devotional our company's ever put out.
Oh,
do you know I just love to get away with stuff and try? I love to push the boundaries a little bit.
I see you.
Listen, a couple years ago, I just really felt a desire and a call to write a devotional. And here's the thing. This is something I have felt, and this is something I've heard for over a decade of working with women. I remember speaking at one of my first speaking events at Purdue University in 2010, and a woman walked up to me after I spoke on life balance, and she said, I just feel like I've lost myself.
Wow.
And I've heard those words. And it's not just women, but I think women uniquely experience that, whether it's in motherhood, different seasons of life, different jobs or careers. You feel like you lose yourself in your own life and you're going, where am I in my own life? And so I really felt like God was calling me to tackle this topic. So we released it just a couple months ago. It's called Living True, 40 Days to Get Back to You. And what's cool about 40 days, and you know this because you're a church guy, but 40 is a very biblical number.
Come on now.
And it's also not intimidating for a busy woman that wants to read it. Because even not just 365 days, but 100 days, that's a big commitment for someone who's super busy. But 40 days to get back to you. And I walk through 4 sections: who God is, who you are, where you are in your season of life, and where you're going, and what God says about each of those. We spend 10 days on each of them. And Ayo, it's been really cool. And you know this, when you put something new out in the world, you're excited about it, but it feels a little bit vulnerable. And you're like, I don't know, is this going to connect? Is this going to do what I want it to do? And it is just blowing up in terms of reviews and the stories of people spending time with God, or God speaking to them on just what they needed to hear on just that day, which, by the way, is what God does. That's not what Christy Wright does. That's what God does and the Holy Spirit. But it has been cool to see how God is using that to help women get back to themselves and get back to who they were created to be.
Man, listen, you guys. I need you to get this book. And for the brothers, get the book for your wife.
Ooh, Mother's Day's coming up.
Oh, Mother's Day is coming up. You know, get the book for your mother, get the book for your wife, get the book for your girlfriends. You know, I want you to live true.
You know what I was thinking about doing? So 40 is such a biblical number with the 40 days it rained, 40 days Jesus was tempted in the wilderness. You know, another 40 days between the resurrection and the ascension. So I think I'm going to start on Monday, April 5th, the day after Easter. And I think I'm going to walk through this on Instagram with people for those 40 days when Jesus appeared. I mean, I know it's symbolic because it's Easter, but wouldn't that be cool? I think I'm going to do that.
Absolutely.
So if you follow me on Instagram at Christy B. Wright, we're going to walk through that. So get your copy so you can join us for those 40 days
I was just
after
about to say
Easter.
that. Go to ChristyWright.com, you guys. Go to ChristyWright.com. Get a book so that when she launches this on her Instagram, you can follow her. You can connect with her on Instagram at Christy B. Wright. Again, that's Christy B. Wright. So that way you can be a part of this, get the book, get on there. Because I'm telling you right now, Christy Wright got energy. So you're not going to be bored.
No
You're
one
not
accused
going to
me
fall
of being
asleep.
quiet or lazy or slowing down.
She's going to come with the energy. And you know what? If it comes about living true, if you have any questions about living true, about balance, life balance, give us a call, 888-825-5225. We have another hour with you all today, 4 more segments, or actually 3 more segments after this. So we are here to answer your question about money. I've been teaching the world today about what the definition of securing the bag. So secure the bag
That's
means
been the theme of today's show.
Yeah, you know, it's like about getting a check, making money. And so if you have a question about, you know, how to get more money, how to get out of debt, how to secure the bag, give us a call at 888-825-5225. Daniel's with us in Jackson, Mississippi. Daniel, good afternoon. How can Chrissy and I help?
Absolutely. Thank you all for letting me come on.
Yeah.
And I'll try to make this pretty brief. My question is, I am currently working through the steps, and I'm about a month away from getting baby step 3 and moving into 4.
Okay.
And so basically, I have a positive cash flow of about $3,000 a month.
Okay.
And my current financial advisor has gone more the route of encouraging heavy investment in 401k and Roth.
Okay.
Basically to the point where I'm not paying extra on my mortgage. And I know the advice I've gotten so far is that to do it the way that you do 15% and then pay down your house is, some people would say, safe money or incredibly conservative. But can you help me understand a bit better the benefits of going that 15% route and paying down the home early?
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. How much is your financial advisor telling you to invest?
Yeah, so he's essentially 40% of my gross income. So he is, of that $3,000, he's encouraging me to invest $21.25 a month.
And how do you live?
So maxing up. I'm sorry, say again?
I mean, and how do you live off of that?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
And so here's the thing.
I agree. And go ahead.
What we teach, Daniel, is we want you to live comfortable. We want you to live below your means. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
29.
Okay, 29. So you're a young guy. Okay, you're young like Christy and I. And so we have no problem with you. I have no problem with you even being aggressive with your investing. But what I want you to do is first go ahead and tack the 15%. And then go ahead and pay off your mortgage while you're doing that. Now, once you pay off your mortgage and you're completely debt-free, baby step number 7 is build wealth and give. So if you want to go back and up your investments, you have that option. You can do that. If you want to go out there and start purchasing some land, start purchasing some real estate, you can do that. But right now, the main thing is start investing at the 15% minimum, and then get very aggressive with paying off your mortgage, so that way you could be 100% debt free going into maybe your late 30s and your early 40s. And if you're married at that time, your spouse decide, hey, let's invest some more over here, or let's do this with real estate, or let's open up this business, by all means, you have the right to do that, because you're in the step that requires you, or not requires you, but it's the step to build wealth and give. But right now, you're young. I would rather you focus on paying off debt, because I want financial freedom. I want bondage off of you. And so that's what I would really, really focus on, brother, because, yeah. So what I would suggest is to interview another financial advisor. I would go to smartvestorpro.com, go to daveramsey.com, look up one of our smart investors. Don't leave your financial advisor yet, but interview one of ours. You'll get about 5 phone calls from 5 solid people who I fully endorse, Christy fully endorse, Dave fully endorse, and just have a conversation with them and get some other advice. Because again, I want you to grow during this process. I want you to build wealth during this process, but at the same time, I want you to get the right wisdom along this journey.
And it's a marathon, Daniel. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You want to enjoy your life along the way. You want to be conservative, but you want to enjoy your life, not have, nothing to live on and enjoy it just because you're investing so much.
Oh yeah. Man, yeah. 40%.
It's a great question. I mean, it's good that he's asking. That's cool.
Gotta ask it. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more.
Taxes, Christy. Nobody wants to do them. But you know what? We all have to do them. But with Ramsey Smart Tax, you finally have an easy, money-smart way to file online. The other software out there is not what it's cracked up to be. Let me just be 100 with you, all right? They say it's free, but no, TurboTax is not free for the vast majority of people who use it. They sign up, rack it up the price, and suddenly free turns into $40, $60, even up to $120, which is ridiculous. But you know what? Here at Ramsey Solutions, we love our people, and we don't jack you around like that. The cost to file a federal return with Ramsey Smart Tax is crystal clear. $17 or $37, not $60, not $120, and depending on the level of support you need, plus $32 if you have to file state taxes. And some folks don't, just like Tennessee. But listen, it's not just about cost. Our technology and support will go toe-to-toe with Turbo any day of the week. And we will never, let me say this again, we will never leverage your financial situation to sell you credit cards and ridiculous loans like a lot of these like a lot of these other companies do. Sign up for Smart Tax for free and take a look around the software. You won't pay a thing till you are confident you've got your taxes right and you're ready to click file. So take out your phones right now. Actually, you should have your phones out right now. If you're driving, don't drive and text. But I want you to text the word tax, T-A-X, to 33789. That's tax, T-A-X, to 33789.
Let me tell you something. People use tax software thinking these companies have their best interest at heart, and they don't.
Yeah.
And that's why they are selling you all these credit cards and all these ridiculous things. And you go to it and you think, oh, well, they're experts. They're financial experts. They know taxes. I can trust them. I should get this credit card. And man, people are making some mistakes with their whole financial future because of that. They're leading them astray. That's why it's so important to use a company you trust. That's why we want to help you with this.
Yes. I'm telling you right now, I actually filed through my accountant, but I mean, if I didn't have one, I would definitely be using this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's clear. I mean, I've actually walked through it myself, even on my YouTube show, to show people how to do it, and it's super clear. And they ask you all the right questions to make sure that you're filing correctly, and you won't have any trouble legally down the road.
That's so good.
And so again, I want to say this again. I want you to text the word tax, T-A-X, to 33789. And I promise you'll thank Ramsey Solutions later on. We're going to go out to Arkansas and talk to Rachel. Rachel, good afternoon. How can Christy and I help?
Good afternoon. How are you guys?
Doing well.
Good.
Doing well. Thanks for calling in. How can we help?
So I have my 3 to 6 months of emergency fund, and I'm just wondering how much is good, percentage-wise, for a down payment on a house.
Yeah. That's a good question. So what we teach here at Ramsey Solutions has Baby Step 3B. Once you are out of debt, once you have a fully funded emergency fund, you move over to 3B and you save 10 to 20% to put down on a home. Now, Rachel, the ideal situation is going to pay for it cash, but a lot of us are not going to pay for it cash. I know I couldn't pay for mine cash. I'm going to be real right here on the Ramsey Show. And so the bare minimum we say is 10 to 20% to put down. When are you looking to purchase a home, Rachel?
In the near future.
Okay.
My roommate situation is not ideal.
Okay. Yeah,
and I just also don't like the fact that I just keep putting money into rent and I'm not really getting anything out of it besides short term.
Yeah. Don't see. And when I hear people say this, like, oh man, I'm wasting money on rent. No, you're actually saving money. Because in the long term, I get the philosophy behind why you think like that. But renting allows you to set yourself up to make the right decision to purchase the home the right way. So it will save you a lot of money. I know a lot of people who will just do the FHA loan, 3.5% down, get into a house that they really can't afford. When they go to sell it, they really can't make any money off of it because they didn't do it the right way. So what we teach here is to save 10 to 20% to put down on a home. You're going to finance at a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. Now, some people say, well, Anthony, that's a lot of money. So here's the thing when it comes to 20%, Rachel. If you can put 20% down, you have 20% equity inside of your home. This is going to help you avoid a PMI, a private mortgage insurance, all right? And so if you are doing a private mortgage insurance, like what most FHA loans do, you're spending a lot of money that doesn't go towards your principal or interest, okay? And we do not want you to do that. But here's the bare minimum. If you put down 10%, the key thing here is just make sure that your mortgage payment is less than 25% of your take-home pay. So put down that.
Right.
If it's 10%, 15%, okay, cool, great. But the ideal situation would be 20%, so that way you can avoid PMI. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Oh, man, thank you so much for calling in. I really do appreciate it. Ryan is with us in Fort Wayne. Good afternoon, Ryan. How can Christy and I help?
Yeah, so I'm kind of torn on what to do as far as housing situation here. So I'm on baby step 2, and we're doing really, really good. Gazelle intensity, feeling great. Snapped all of our credit cards in half, canceled them all.
Yeah.
Should have about half my student loans paid off by the end of this year.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm feeling great. I was very, very blessed. Income increased last year, and it's going to increase this year as well, too. So I got an email the other day saying that the guesstimation, I guess is what I'm kind of calling it, that the equity on my house has gone up just from being there for a couple of years, and the equity is getting really close to how much my student loans are on the outstanding balances right now. Would it make sense to sell the home in the next couple of years if the equity gets past it and then rent to kind of streamline baby step 3, or just keep going with the gazelle intensity and build more equity and just be more patient? That way, when it comes to baby step 3, I'll have more equity in the house, and if we do sell the house, we'll have that much more for emergency funds, investing, et cetera, et cetera.
Man, such a great question, Ryan. And I love the tone of your voice. I hear the focus. I hear the intentionality inside of you. The fact that you're willing to ask this question about your home lets me know that you and your family are very serious about paying off your debt. So I want to commend you and celebrate you for that. Let's just say right now that you had no debt, you had a fully funded emergency fund. Would you want to sell the house?
Yeah.
You will. So you're not sold on this house. You don't love this house. This is not
love. We do love the house. The thing is, we know the family's probably going to expand in the future as well too. So we're going to need more room.
Okay. Okay.
But we got into this house at a really, really good price at a really, really good time in a really strong housing market out here, and it worked in our favor. Just don't know if I should just keep riding this momentum train that I'm on, or get into baby step 3 quicker, if that means getting out of debt sooner and just renting.
How much debt do you have, real quick?
Close to about 50.
50,000. How much equity is in your home?
It's guesstimated between 38,000 and 40.
Okay. I'm going to stay in the house right now.
Same. Yeah. Thank you. Good. Please. Yes. I was getting so nervous over here. I was like, hey, don't tell us.
No, I ain't going to. Yeah, I'm staying in the house, man. I'm going to stay in the house. I'm going to ride it until the house can no longer fit me and my family. $50,000. Real quickly, what's your household income?
Combined between the wife and I. So we both work commission. Yeah. So realistically, we're going to be about 130 this year. If this year goes well, we're probably going to be close to about 160.
Yeah, you could be debt free within the next 12 to 14, 15 months if you all do this right.
That's the plan.
And then here's the thing that's interesting, Ryan. Sometimes when we get so motivated, we get so excited, we're like, how can I fast track that? And I get it because I'm wired the same way. But what's interesting is if you're not careful, you will get so excited, you will make a decision that just creates a different set of problems for you. Yeah. You then have to save up all over again for a house. You're renting. You don't like your landlord. It's a headache. You're moving. And then you've got commissions and fees and move. It's a different headache. It's not like you got rid of the problem. You just had a different problem. So I would say stay put, keep building the equity, just like AO said, get out of debt, and then do it patiently over time.
Absolutely. That's right. Y'all heard Christy. Not
That's
me.
so good. No,
you heard Christy.
no. Oh, you had it.
This is The Ramsey Show. love that music that our producer, aka DJ, is playing right there. That was some good music, James. Thank you for that, sir. I need you to bring you onto the table with Anthony O'Neill because I like that music. This is the Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Chrissy Wright and myself, Anthony O'Neill, are here today to talk to you today about your life, your money. You want to start a business, whatever you want to do. Give us a call. We can even talk about relationships. Normally, Chrissy, when John Deloney and I are on, we get a lot of marriage and relationship and boyfriend, girlfriend, and should I move in questions. We haven't gotten any of those today.
I bet that's a fun conversation between you and Deloney.
Oh, man, listen. You know, before the show, our producer, James, came in and said, hey, man, you should be a little more softer when you say things, you know. I was like, I understand.
I can do that. If I try real hard and focus.
Yeah, he was like, hey, you shouldn't say that because it can come off a certain kind of way. And I was like, okay, all right, cool, great. So
you know what we need to do next time? We need to set it up and have people call in with faith questions because I'm doing this Devo stuff right now. You got a church background. Like we could just bring them to church, AO. I feel like we could do that.
Let's do it.
Next time we'll do that.
We got another segment coming up after this. If you have any faith questions, not really Devo questions because faith will leave it to the Devo, but any faith questions, give us a call. Next segment. 888-825-5225. Let Kelly know you got a faith question. Maybe she'll let you on. Maybe she won't. She's the boss. But, 888-825-5225. Andy is with us in Colorado Springs. Good afternoon, Andy. I see you have a question for Christy. Talk to us.
What's going on?
Hi, guys. It's a pleasure to speak to you today. I recommend Dave and his team, everybody, and tell them I'd be a millionaire 3 times over if I would have known he existed 10 years ago.
You and everybody else, right?
I've got a weird issue that cropped up today.
Okay.
I own a coffee shop in Colorado Springs, and I got an email. We use an app for scheduling called Homebase, and we received an email today that they are rolling out something really exciting for my employees. They're going to be offering my employees the ability to get cash advances on their pay at no cost to me, and it's wonderful for them in case they need extra money.
Yeah. How many employees do you have?
I have 19.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do, Andy. And this is going to sound drastic, but it's that important because I can hear your voice. This is against your values, period. Right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, we're not going to use a program that's against your values, period. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to tell your 19 employees, which is absolutely something you can manage on your own, even if it just means you write checks to people for their paychecks for a couple weeks until you get a new program in place. But what I would do is I would go to the leadership of that company and say, I'm canceling immediately unless you take this off the table and change this policy for my employees. If they will not back down, then you cancel and you let your team know. You send an email to your team and say, hey guys, I hate that this is happening. We're going to go with the new program. We had some differences in leadership and values, and we're just not going to use a program. You don't even have to go in the details of what it was. We're not going to use a program that's against our values. And we've done that as a company. Just so you know, Andy, Ramsey Solutions has absolutely pulled out. I mean, just slammed on the emergency brake with vendors, companies that we've used for different things. The moment they try to do something that is not in line with our values, there's no price that is worth it. When you're running your company, you're running it because you want it to be in line with your values. So what I would recommend you do is first reach out to the leadership of that scheduling app, try to get on a phone call and say, either this is not being offered and I will consider staying with you for the time being, or if they will not, you immediately cancel your relationship with them. I don't care if you use a Google Doc to schedule your team members. You got 19. We're not talking about 500 people here. You can manage the schedule. Just
to me, it is
scrappily.
500.
I hear you, but keep in mind it's temporary, right? It's going to be maybe a month. Maybe you make their schedule by hand in an Excel spreadsheet or Google Doc for a month, and that's it. Or even it might even just be a few days till you find something else. There's a million options out there. You just need enough time to be able to find something that's better, and that's going to take you a few days to do that. So you're buying yourself a little time with your team, and just tell your team whatever their schedule is. How long have they been scheduled out through? Like, what do they know they're scheduled out through this?
Scheduled 2 weeks in advance.
Okay, you're fine. Their schedule's set. Their schedule's set. We're going to pull out of this company. and figure out a different option for you. But I absolutely would not let this roll out to your team. You will regret it. It will keep you up at night. You will start to hate your business.
They are going to regret it. They are going to regret it so much. And there's no consequences, and they tell you we don't sell your information. But as soon as they start borrowing, something's gonna drop.
Yeah,
something's gonna give.
Everything in you that is like the red flag alarms going off is absolutely accurate, and I want you to listen to that, and I want you to go ahead, even though it may feel uncomfortable to do this. It feels like a knee-jerk decision. They're forcing you in this position, and you need to do what's best for you, your company, and your team members. And the best thing is to not allow this to roll out.
I was worried that I was being more of a dad than a boss.
No.
I didn't want to cross that line.
No. Here's what's interesting. This is not about what you allow or don't allow for your team members. Okay, I want to separate this for you really quickly. What you're not going to allow is for your company to have operations that are perpendicular to your values.
Yeah.
Because your team members do not separate you from the scheduling company. It's all you.
Right.
It's all their experience of their leadership. And so it's you endorsing this type of action, and you're not okay with that. This is not about you being a dad.
I mean, I don't mind giving I don't mind giving anybody, an advance if they have a problem, and I figure out how they're going to pay it back so it doesn't hurt them and they can pay their bills. But at least I have control over that. This is going to be willy-nilly. It's like giving a cookie to a mouse.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do it, Andy. You're on the right track. You know what you need to do. You just need to follow through with it. Communicate to your team members. Come up with a new plan. They know their schedules for 2 weeks. They're fine. 2 weeks is plenty of time for you to get something else in place. But nothing is worth you having your company run, your business run in a way that's perpendicular to your personal values. That's why you started your company, is so you could have a company in line with your values, and you need to stick with those. Great question, though. I'm sorry that happened. Man, that stinks.
Great
that
question.
Happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does. Blake is with us in Texas. Good afternoon, Blake. Real quick, man, you have about a minute and a half. Ask your question to Christy.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Me and my fiance are on baby step 2, and we started this about a week and a half ago. We were down to just the vehicles and the house, but we're putting the house back and whatnot. But I'm looking to start my painting company back up again. I had it a while back, a couple years ago. I started it, and then I failed miserably, partly because of the way I handled money before I found Dave Ramsey and listened to what he had to say, and everyone in his studios had to say, and started taking that all in. And me and my fiance have been talking about me starting it back up, but I have a full-time job. I work 10 to 12 hours a day, and I make about $60,000 a year where I'm at. And I'm trying to figure out at what point I can actually stop and then start something new like that.
To make it your full-time thing?
To make it my full-time thing without harming my family, being my fiance and my 10-month-old child, and how to make that transition smoothly as possible.
Totally. I hear you. Here's the thing. You're going to build it up on the side in every hour that you can, nights, weekends, get creative, take as many jobs as you can. For a while, it's going to feel like you're working 2 full-time jobs, maybe even 3 because you are, but you're going to build up that income enough that it can support you financially. That might mean getting creative with your full-time job if there's any way you can back off of some of those hours or whatever your days and schedule look like from a logistics standpoint. But the way we say it is you want to pull the boat close enough to the dock that when you step in the boat, that side business, it's not falling in the water. So you need to build up that money.
That's why I love doing the show with Christy Wright. Hey, this is the Ramsey Show. Today's scripture and quote comes from Psalm 16, verse 11. You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Harold McAlladin says, do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. I like that. Create your own journey and let people follow you. Well, you know what? We're going to get back to the phone calls. And I got to say, man, Christy, today's been fun.
This is great.
This has just really been fun. I like doing the show with you. We got to do this more
We
often.
got a lot of energy. I love that about us.
I love it. I love me some Christy Wright. We're going to go out to Chicago, Illinois, where it is cold right now. I have a conversation with Travis. Travis, hey, man, is it cold out there?
It's not too bad. It's kind of warming up.
What's the weather, Travis? Travis, what's the weather, man? What's the temperature?
I'm sorry?
What's the temperature?
Honestly, I don't know for Chicago. I'm a couple minutes out from there.
Okay. All right.
But
because y'all
about
people
40 here. Not too bad.
And you said that's warm?
That's not too bad. Not for Chicago weather. What's going on? How can we help?
So right now, I work 40 miles away. I have to carpool with my friend to get there because currently I don't have a vehicle. I've got about $1,500 saved up, but I was wondering if I should just buy a hoopty or if I should finance a very, very small loan for a vehicle just so I can get there safely and not have to worry about breaking down. I kind of feel like I already know you guys' answers, but I just want reassurance.
Well, I'm pretty sure you know the answer, but I definitely do want to, I want to say this, and America, listen to me. We have to get out of saying buy a hoopty, buy a Dave Ramsey car, and just start saying let's buy a reliable car that will get me from point A to point B. That may not be my dream car. I believe in there's power in what we say. And if we say it's a hoopty, it's going to become a hoopty, and we're going to treat it like it's a hoopty. And so, Travis, what I would definitely say is yes, avoid student loans. I get it. Oh, man, I'm scared if I buy this $1,500 car, this $2,000 car, it's going to break down on me. And you know what? The truth of the fact is it might, but so can a used car, any kind of used car. I purchased a beautiful high-end luxury car, Christy, about 4 months ago before I totaled it during this winter storm. And within not even a week of me having the car broke down. I had to take it back to the shop. So I think for yourself, man, I would definitely go out there and look. I would see if I can just sacrifice maybe another month or two to get that up to about maybe $2,000 to $3,000, and then look into a good, reliable car. Honda, a Honda product, a Toyota product, a Nissan product. Buy maybe like a 2000. Maybe like a 2010 Acura TLs are going for right around $5,000 if you get it in high mileage of about 150. And 150 on a Honda product is beautiful. It's just now getting started. So what I would just definitely do some research, man, because I'm telling you right now, you can find you a reliable car. I saw a Honda Accord with 200,000 miles on it, Chrissy, and it was going for $3,200. And a Honda Accord 2010, that is a good car. That is a reliable car as long as you just keep the maintenance up on it. So drivers, no, stay away from the debt. Stay away from the debt. Do not finance anything.
Right. The only reason why I asked was because, like I said, I do get a carpool with my friend, and it is about 40 miles there. But he's going to be moving soon.
Okay.
And
what soon?
I wouldn't have a ride there anymore.
What soon?
Well, he doesn't really know, honestly, but he's trying to get it within the month.
Okay, within a month. All right, cool. So then start looking. Start looking now. You have $1,500. You can find something, and just start looking. But no, I'm not going to tell you to take out.
Are there any public transportation options from where you are? Are you going into the city? Is there anything like that?
I believe so. I think there's a train, but I don't know the scheduling for it yet because I work overnights.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because here's what I don't like, Anthony. I don't like in anything in life when I feel like I have two bad options. And so a car loan, bad option, or no car, bad option. So what I would just encourage you to do is just explore all your options, get super creative. You still may not end up going one of those routes, but it's going to make you feel more empowered to go, I've got 5 options, and I'm going to choose the best option of these 5 options versus I've only got 2, I'm painted in a corner. I don't like being in that position. I don't think you do either. And so if you look into this, and you realize, okay, the person I'm carpooling with, it's actually going to be 2 months, so I've got more time. And oh, by the way, whenever I looked into the train schedule, they do have a train schedule I could hop on. That buys me another couple months. Well, how much could I save in 4 months? Well, maybe I could save an extra $4,000. Well, now you're looking at a really awesome $5,000 car. Man, look how your opportunities have opened up just because you explored outside the box of your 2 bad options, it seems like right now. So I would write it down, look at all your options. What realistically are we talking about with this carpool friend? What are the train options, public transportation options? Is there anyone else in your area you could carpool? Could you put something on your neighborhood Facebook post? Go, hey, does anybody work in the city? I go this way. Would you ever want to carpool? Just get creative, get a little scrappy, and that's going to give you more options to choose from, and that's always a good place to be.
I love it. Thank you for doing it. Saying that, Christy. Christian, let me ask you this question. From your expertise, when people say they want to borrow money to start a business, what do you tell them?
Well, I tell them no.
Okay.
I know that comes as a huge shock to you right now.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll tell you that I see when people ask this, though. I see one of 2 things. Either one, they have been told or somewhere along the way they believe that they have to borrow money to start a business.
Yeah.
And they believe that's okay because they think, well, it's not my loan. Yeah. It's the business's loan. So it's not really mine. I'm not taking on debt. It's the business's debt. And they think somehow this is separate from them. And I remind them that someone has to pay those bills and that someone is you.
Yeah.
So it's still your debt and it's all a bad idea. So they have this belief that the only way to start is to take out loans and take out business loans, and that's okay. And I always encourage them, you can start small, grow slow. Dave Ramsey started this company on a card table in his living room. You can start small and cash flow it. Yeah. The second thing I see, and this is very common as well, but it's just a different angle on it. There are some people that don't really need to take out debt, but because they're starting this business, and it's like this vulnerable time for them. They're like, I'm excited, I'm nervous, I've got this idea. Let's say it's I use a fitness coach example, or someone that wants to do hair, it's a salon. I'm so excited, but I've got to go spend all this money, buy all this equipment, lease a space, all these things they have to do.
Yeah.
They have to do it, AO. They say they have to do it.
Yeah.
Like they can't be a business without it. And I remind them that they don't really have to do that. They don't have to buy those things. And more often than not, they don't, 9 times out of 10. Here's what they're trying to do, though. If you dig at their motivation, they want to buy something to make it real to them. They want to buy something to validate. It's kind of like when I graduated college and I needed some new suits to go interview for jobs, as if I didn't have any perfectly fine interview clothes. I needed a new laptop bag. I didn't need that, AO. I had clothes that were perfectly fine to interview in, but I wanted to validate or justify I'm in the workforce, I'm doing this. And I think a lot of people at this vulnerable stage of starting a business, they're trying to validate it. And I just remind them, buying stuff for your business doesn't validate it. Money does.
Come on.
Get money in your bank account. When you make a sale, your business is validated. If you're in your garage working on a 1985 computer, it's validated when money's there. And so I just try to help people bust the myths, pull away the layers of the lies they're believing to help them understand what they really need to start their business, which is tenacity and money, not taking out a loan or a bunch of equipment.
You know what, Chrissy, off subject, but you know what? I needed a new suit because my first job interview was in a red suit with a purple shirt. I was fired before I even did the interview.
You actually did need something new.
Man, Chrissy, I want to thank Chrissy. I want to thank our producer, James Childs, and associate producer, Kelly Daniel. In America, remember, the caliber of our future, our financial future, will be determined by the decisions we made today. You made the right one by listening to The Ramsey Show.